We've 38 acres of land here in Airfield. There's still loads of reasons to grow food in containers. Take for example this kitchen area in Airfield. It's one of I suppose it's one of our new builds. It's an absolutely amazing building, a beautiful spot. But as you can see, there is loads of concrete outside it. Now obviously this is a great plus. We can relax here, we can put tables and chairs, but it's quite a hard feature. So I think one of the best ways of softening a feature like this is just to fill it up with loads of pots and containers. Now obviously these can contain flowers, but if you're going to be sitting out eating on a summer's evening, why not fill these pots with edible delights? When it comes to choosing a container to grow in, there is just so many possibilities, from these shop-bought classy terracotta, ceramic glazed pots, these funky new grow bags which are perfect for potatoes. You can also upcycle materials. Take for example, this was an old wooden planter that's been knocking around for years. We've just put a coat of pink paint on it and now it's looking great again. Obviously there's lots of items around your house, from pots to pans to old toilets to, just for example, this, the old top of a sewing machine, which now just makes the perfect parsley planter. Clearly, if you're going to upcycle the entire contents of your garage to use on your patio for planters, things could start getting a little bit messy and cluttered. So one tip is just pick a container style and stick with it. I'm totally inspired by Helen Dillon's infamous combination of upcycled galvanised bins and tulips. It's just classy and it just looks great. Well, we grow our whole mint collection here in Airfield in these bins. It just works absolutely perfect. Everyone knows mint is one of those invasive, aggressive herbs. You want absolutely loads of it because it's great for tea and for garnishing drinks, but you don't want it to take over your whole garden. So it just works absolutely perfect in these containers. And the best thing is, it releases a gorgeous scent as well. Growing in containers is so easy, just once you get a few basics right. First thing, make sure that every container you choose has adequate drainage holes. Next thing is, get the potting mix right. Obviously different plants have different requirements. Herbs, famous for loving free draining soil, so include plenty of grit. Clearly if you want to grow blueberries in pots, they're acid loving plants, so they're going to enjoy an ericaceous compost. But basically most veg and herbs are going to enjoy just a standard mix. You can buy a shop bought one, but I personally like to make my own. Using straight up garden soil isn't the best option for containers. It's too heavy, compacts easily and just doesn't allow drainage. So it's good to add it to the mix, but don't let it be the full of your mix. So what I do is I just add about 1 scoop soil to 2 scoops. Now obviously this is all going to change depending on the size of your container, and you can get the feel from the mix. Just throw in a nice amount of shop bought, just a basic standard all round general all potting compost. Now I'm just going to give this a little bit of a mix. Now today I'm planting up a container which is going to contain tomatoes. Tomatoes are hungry feeders, so they're going to enjoy a little bit of garden compost as well. You can So I like to just add a small amount of horticultural grit to the mix because that just increases plant stability. It's always good to put a layer on top of the holes in your pots because this just increases drainage and stops all the holes getting blocked with clay and just causing water to build up. So once that's done, it's good to use something like this old packing from a seed box. So now fill the container with the mix. Never fill the container completely to the top, because what's going to happen then is that every time you water, the water is just going to spill over. So it's good just to leave about a 1 to 2 centimetre lip. So in this pot I've decided to grow 2 beautiful little compact bush tomatoes. They're called tumbler. They've got a bushy growth habit, which means they're going to spill out over the sides of the pot. Now being a little bit greedy, I always like to eat basil with my tomatoes, so I'm going to add a little bit of basil to the pot. Keep it nice and Mediterranean. It's a good tip to cover the top of your potting mix with the shop-bought sterile compost, because at least you know there's not going to be any weed seeds that are going to cause you problems weeding your pots for the months to come. Clearly all containers are going to be thirsty and they're going to depend on you for all their watering needs. So ensure after planting to give your plants a good watering in, and after that you need to check them about every 2 to 3 days. Right, I'm going to place my tomato and basil planter here, and hopefully these crops are going to love the heat coming off the walls and from the ground. And sure, if the weather turns bad, I always have the option of dragging them inside.